Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're really getting into something huge, a topic that's shaped sports, shaped culture for, well, generations. We're talking about the impact of black athletes, and we're asking a pretty big question. Are black athletes truly dominating sports? And maybe more importantly, what does that dominance actually mean? Our sources today, like Black Athletes, Dominance, Defiance, and Redefining Sports, give us a really powerful way to look at this. But hey, before we unpack all of that, just a quick word for you. If you're loving these kinds of insights and you want more great information like this, you should definitely visit Mind Expansion Daily. Seriously, it's your go-to source for understanding the world a bit better. And while you're at it, could you do us a favor? Please like and subscribe to Mind Expansion Daily wherever you're listening. It really helps us bring more of these deep dives to you. And look, if this information is genuinely valuable and you feel like, buying us a coffee to keep the lights on, the link is right there in the description. We would honestly appreciate that so much.
Okay, so as we go through this, we're going to share some incredible stories, some pretty mind-blowing statistics too. And here's a challenge for you. Leave a comment below. Tell us if you agree or disagree with our summary here. We really want to hear your perspective. Oh, and one more thing. We're trying to increase our reach worldwide, so please, just let us know where you're listening from. We love seeing how far these conversations go. All right, setting the stage. We're using sources today to explore the legacy, the stats, but also the challenges faced by black athletes.
Exactly. And our mission really is to look beyond just the headlines, beyond the scoreboard even. We want to understand the triumph, yes, but also the trials. That often difficult journey of shattering stereotypes and the continuous ongoing battle against bias. Is this dominance we see purely about talent? Or is it perhaps an even stronger story about overcoming just immense adversity?
Yeah, because when you think about the history, these moments of defiance, they just jump out at you, don't they?
Yeah.
Jesse Owens
Yeah.
in Nazi Berlin, those sprints were so much more than just winning a race.
Oh, absolutely. A huge statement.
And then, fast forward to someone like Giannis Antetokounmpo leading the Milwaukee Bucks in 2021, that commanding presence.
Unforgettable performance.
These aren't just athletic highlights. They feel like, cultural milestones.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's kick things off with something concrete, the numbers. Because, the scoreboard, the stat sheets, they often tell a very clear story when it comes to black athletes. What are we seeing there?
Well, the statistics, they reveal a pretty compelling truth. Let's take the NBA. In the 2023 season, a really staggering 71.8% of players were African American.
71.8%. Wow.
Yeah, and you compare that to their share of the U.S. population, which is around 13%. It's a massive difference.
Huge disparity.
And this isn't new. Think back to the 90s. Icons like Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, they haven't just dominated the game. They were and are the driving force behind the NBA's global explosion. They fundamentally reshaped basketball's whole cultural and commercial landscape.
And we really felt that, didn't we? That
Yeah.
culmination in the 2021 Bucks championship. Giannis, that 50-point finals masterpiece. A Greek-Nigerian star leading this incredibly diverse roster.
Yeah.
It just felt like African roots meeting American hustle right there on the court.
It really did. A perfect example. And it's not just basketball, of course. Look at track and field. Usain Bolt. His 100-meter world record, 9.58 seconds, set way back in 2009.
Still standing,
And-
untouched.
Exactly, untouched. It's
Wow.
just a testament to this level of sustained, almost unbelievable excellence in sprinting. He defined an era.
Or tennis. Serena Williams. I mean, she didn't just dominate. She redefined power, presence on the court. Those 23 Grand Slam titles, the most in the open era. It wasn't just about breaking records. She forced the entire sport to evolve.
Right. And American football, similar story. The NFL's 2023 season, 57% black players. But look deeper at the skill positions.
For the speed and agility are key.
Precisely. Running backs,
Yeah.
80% black. Wide receivers, 70%. These aren't just participation numbers. This is outright dominance in absolutely pivotal roles on the field.
Okay, so the player numbers are undeniable. But here's where it gets really interesting for me. Beyond just who's playing, what about the impact? The MVPs, the gold medals, the sheer influence.
That's where the picture gets even clearer, perhaps even more impactful. Since 1990, black athletes have accounted for 68% of NBA MVPs.
68%.
And get this, 75% of Olympic track gold medals from 2000 to 2024. 3/4 of the golds.
That's generational dominance. It's not just a blip.
Not at all. It represents sustained excellence at the absolute pinnacle of athletic achievement, year after year, Olympics after Olympics.
And then there's the money. The economic influence is just seismic, isn't it?
Yeah.
You mentioned LeBron James, that reported $1 billion Nike deal. Or the Jordan brand, Air Jordan, projected to hit $5 billion annually by 2025.
Huge numbers. And it's crucial to see this isn't just about individual wealth, though that's part of it. It's about shifting economic power. It creates generational opportunities, provides ways to reinvest in communities that often haven't had those resources.
Right. It's more than just sneakers.
Exactly. It's fascinating. These stats, they aren't just numbers on a page. They really illustrate these massive shifts. Black athletes don't just compete. They consistently redefine the very essence of their sports. But like you said earlier, these stats, powerful as they are, they only tell half the story.
Yeah, that's the part that really sticks with you. If the numbers prove this level of dominance, there has to be this other side, this significant weight they carry, something beyond the medals and the endorsements. What is that struggle?
Precisely. Because for every record they break, for every championship they win, Black athletes often face this gauntlet of persistent bias. And one of the most insidious, really damaging ones is the natural talent stereotype.
Ah, yes. The idea that it's all just genetics.
Exactly. This myth that their skill, their prowess, is purely a gift of genetics. You know, speed, strength, but somehow devoid of intellect or strategy or hard work and grit. It's a harmful narrative with roots in, well, debunked pseudoscience from the Jim Crow era. Awful stuff.
And it paints them as physical marvels, but maybe not. Not the strategic thinkers.
That's the insinuation. Physical marvels, but strategic dimwits. And this isn't just insulting. It actively limits opportunities. It can push Black athletes towards certain roles perceived as physical and away from leadership or thinking positions. It kind of perpetuates a cycle.
And you actually see this play out in the coaching ranks and front offices, right? Like that 2024 study, only 15% of NBA head coaches are Black, even though players are overwhelmingly Black.
15%. It's stark.
And in the NFL, positions historically seen as the thinking roles, like quarterback, still around 70% white. Does that pattern surprise you, or is it depressingly familiar?
Unfortunately, it's familiar. It reflects these deeper systemic issues that go beyond just the playing field. And the media often plays a role, maybe unintentionally sometimes, in amplifying these stereotypes.
How so?
Well, think about how Black athletes are often framed. LeBron James, his incredible dunks get endless highlights, right? But how much coverage does his I Promise School get, which is educating thousands of at-risk kids?
Good point. It's there, but maybe not front and center.
Or Serena. Her powerful serves are legendary. But her venture capital work, funding Black startups, empowering entrepreneurs, that often gets eclipsed. Now contrast that with, say, Tom Brady. He's consistently lauded for leadership, smarts, game management.
Yeah, the language used is often very different.
It's a double standard, and it's hard to ignore once you see it.
We saw a really clear example of that recently, didn't we? That 2023 NCAA women's final. Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. Reese does a celebratory taunt, gets called classless. Clark does something very similar and is praised as competitive spirit.
Exactly. It wasn't subtle, and it points to something systemic, especially when you learn that only about 3% of sports media coverage actually tackles issues of race or inequality directly.
3%, that's incredibly low.
It is. And beyond these, let's call them subtle biases, there's still overt discrimination happening. Racial slurs in stadiums. It's still a problem. European soccer reported something like 1,200 incidents in 2024 alone.
Still, in 2024, that's shocking.
It is. And then there's biased officiating. A 2023 study found Black NBA players get about 20% more technical fouls for similar kinds of infractions compared to their white peers.
So it's not just perception. There's data suggesting bias even in refereeing.
There is. These aren't just isolated incidents. They feel like symptoms of a bigger issue.
And if we widen the lens to leadership roles across sports organizations, the picture gets even bleaker, doesn't it? Women overall hold maybe 5% of executive spots. And for Black women, it's under 2%.
Under 2%. It really highlights how deep-seated these issues are within the structures of sports themselves.
In all of this, the bias, the stereotypes, the discrimination, the double standards, it must take a massive toll mentally.
Oh, absolutely. A profound toll. We see studies showing around 40% of Black athletes report anxiety stemming from stereotype threat.
Explain that a bit, stereotype threat.
It's that intense psychological pressure, the fear that you'll somehow confirm a negative stereotype about your group in this case, maybe about intelligence or composure or leadership. And that fear, that pressure, can actively hinder performance. It affects well-being. It's a heavy burden to carry on top of the already immense pressure of elite sports.
Despite all this pressure, this constant scrutiny, they rise. They dominate. Figures like Simone Biles' 37 Olympic and World Championship medals, She doesn't just win. She faced down those quit narratives with incredible strength.
Incredible resilience.
Or Bubba Wallace, winning in NASCAR in 2021, shattering the mold in a sport so historically white-dominated.
Huge moment. Their excellence isn't just about competing at that point. It becomes this powerful, ongoing act of defiance against all that bias.
So, okay, despite these enormous challenges, Black athletes aren't just competing or participating. They are, as you said, redefining things. Let's talk about some of those architects of dominance, the game changers. How did they specifically shift the paradigms?
Michael Jordan is probably the quintessential example, right?
Okay.
He was so much more than just the dunks, the fadeaway, the 6 rings. He completely revolutionized sports marketing. That 1984 Nike deal, it wasn't just about selling shoes.
No, it created a whole culture.
It birthed a sneaker empire worth, what, $5.1 billion by 2025? Before Jordan, endorsements were often just, transactional, paycheck for an appearance. Jordan turned it into this deep symbiotic brand partnership. His image was the product. He created the blueprint for modern athlete entrepreneur. People like Kevin Durant are following paths he paved. And yeah, the 6 titles, the global brand, he made basketball a cultural juggernaut worldwide.
And then someone like Usain Bolt, he literally ran beyond the records, didn't he? Those 100-meter and 200-meter world records, 9.58, 19.19 seconds set back in 2009. Still standing. It's almost hard to believe.
It is, but it wasn't just the times. It was his charisma, his personality. He made track and field fun to watch, a global spectacle. And that had a real impact. Global participation in track reportedly boosted by 15% by 2025, partly attributed to his influence.
Wow. And Serena Williams, she rewrote the entire book on tennis, didn't she? Not just the 23 slams, but her advocacy.
Absolutely. Her advocacy was just as powerful as her forehand, calling out sexist officiating, fighting for equal pay. She shifted the whole conversation, the whole ethos of the sport. And now her Serena Ventures Fund investing $50 million in Black-led startups by 2024. It's just definitive proof. Her intellect, her business sense, they absolutely match her athletic power.
Then there's LeBron James, the activist king, you could almost call him. He blends the basketball genius with this deep sense of social responsibility. 4 titles, over $1 billion in earnings, but then also the I Promise School, educating, 2,400 kids by 2025.
Incredible commitment.
And he's not afraid to use his voice. His stand against police brutality, using his platform X, reaching 50 million followers. He's more than a player. He's really a movement.
He is. And Giannis Antetokounmpo, the Greek freak, leading the Bucks to that 2021 title, that 50-point closeout game, just pure grit. Pure determination.
An absolute masterclass.
And his story. Born in Athens to Nigerian immigrants rising from poverty, it mirrors the NBA's own global tapestry. We're seeing 125 international players from 43 countries in the 2024-25 season. He's become such a powerful symbol of that international talent and excellence.
So these icons, they don't just win championships. They inspire whole generations, don't they?
Yeah.
Like that NCAA report, Black women's basketball participation surging by over 6,000 athletes, and they link it directly to figures like Serena, like Candace Parker.
Exactly. They're not anomalies, they're vanguards.
Yeah.
They're living proof that Black excellence is multifaceted. It's athletic, yes, but it's also deeply cerebral, strategic, intelligent. It completely dismantles that old natural talent myth. And it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What potential is still being held back by these persistent stereotypes?
Okay, let's make this even more concrete. Let's zoom in on that Milwaukee Bucks 2021 NBA championship. Talk about a microcosm of Black athletic impact. What made that win so significant in this specific context we're discussing?
Well, they clinched that title July 20th, 2021. And it really felt historic. Giannis, obviously, was the star. Nigerian Greek heritage, drops 50 points in Game 6 to seal it. Finals MVP.
Unbelievable performance under pressure.
Just incredible. And his unique style, that 7-foot frame combined with guard-like agility, fierce defense, clutch scoring. But it wasn't just him. He was backed by teammates like Drew Holiday, a Black American guard, also an Olympic gold medalist. It really showcased the NBA's diverse Black-led excellence.
And that roster itself, right? Players from Africa, Europe, the Americas. It was a perfect reflection of the league's global reach you mentioned. 125 international players now. Stars like Joel Embiid from Cameroon, Pascal Siakam, also from Cameroon. They're amplifying that Black influence globally.
It speaks volumes. That championship wasn't just a win for Milwaukee. It felt like a statement about the league itself. The NBA, where, remember, 71.8% of players are Black. It thrives on their dynamism. The dunks, the crossovers, the defensive intensity, that's what packs the arenas. That's what captivates millions watching around the world. And Giannis's personal journey adds another layer. From being a stateless teenager selling trinkets on the streets of Athens to becoming a 2-time lead MVP and champion. It mirrors the resilience of pioneers like Bill Russell, who faced down intense racism and segregation to win 11 championships.
An incredible parallel.
Yeah, and that Bucks' triumph, watched by 12 million people globally, it just underscores how Black athletes elevate not just the level of competition, but the cultural relevance of the sport. You saw posts all over exhaling Giannis as Africa's pride.
But what's really striking, and kind of proves the point about persistent bias, even in that moment of ultimate triumph, the critiques didn't stop, did they? Media commentary about his raw style versus maybe more polished white stars. It felt like echoes of those old, tired tropes.
Exactly. Even at the absolute peak, the bias lingers. It's a constant battle. Yet I think his response was powerful, too. His post-game humility, crediting his team, his faith, it kind of silenced those doubters in its own way. It proved his character was every bit as strong as his skill. It was another form of defiance, really. Defiance through integrity.
So let's step back again. Take the bigger picture view. What does all this mean? Black athletes aren't just dominating box scores or medal counts. They seem to be transforming society itself in really profound ways.
Absolutely. Their platforms are huge now, especially amplified by social media, by X's real-time reach. And they're using them to drive significant social change. You mentioned LeBron's 2020 voting rights campaign registered 10,000 voters. That's tangible impact. Or Naomi Osaka speaking out about mental health in 2021. That took immense courage and helped destigmatize struggles for athletes everywhere.
Yeah, they're leveraging their visibility far beyond just sports.
And they challenge norms in really powerful ways, too. Think about Simone Manuel. 2016 Olympics, she wins swim gold. That shattered so many stereotypes about Black people in swimming. And it had an effect. Participation among Black youth reportedly went up 20% by 2025.
That's breaking down barriers for whole communities, not just winning a medal.
Exactly. And economically, as we touched on, there are titans. Those endorsements, $10 billion projected for 2024, they fuel major global brands. But it's also the philanthropy. Giannis giving $1 million to youth programs back in Athens. It's about uplifting communities, building legacy.
And culturally. They're just undeniable icons, aren't they? Beyoncé's anthems playing while Serena dominates, hip-hop becoming the soundtrack of the NBA. Their influence is just woven into the fabric of global culture now.
It really is. However, and this is the crucial counterpoint, equity still lags significantly. We mentioned only 2% of sports media covers women's sports, and Black women athletes like Simone Biles often face much harsher scrutiny. Remember her 2021 Olympics withdrawal? A brave, necessary stand for her mental health, yet some corners of the media labeled it weak.
Yeah, completely ignoring the immense pressure and the strength it actually took to make that decision.
Exactly. It highlights how far we still have to go.
So this raises the unavoidable question. What are the solutions? How do we address these lingering issues? We talked about diversifying leadership, setting goals like 15% female sports execs by 2027. Amplifying Black voices in commentary. These seem like crucial steps. But how do we really push for change at that deeper systemic level?
Well, it really requires a conscious collective effort from everyone involved. Sports organizations need to actively implement policies that promote diversity and inclusion, not just pay lip service. Media outlets need to be more intentional about fair coverage, challenging stereotypes in their own narratives, and giving equitable airtime, especially to women's sports and Black women athletes. And fans, too, have a role. Demanding better, supporting athletes who speak out, challenging bias when they see it. It's about creating environments, really, where talent can thrive without that added unfair burden of stereotype threat and discrimination.
Okay, so wrapping things up, let's revisit our initial question. Are Black athletes dominating sports? Based on everything we've discussed, the answer seems pretty clear, doesn't it?
Unequivocally, yes. The numbers alone make a compelling case. 71.8% of NBA rosters. 75% of Olympic track golds in recent decades. The cultural empires, the economic impact, it's undeniable dominance.
But it's so much more than just dominance, isn't it?
That's the core takeaway, I think. Dominance isn't the full story, it's defiance. Defiance against deeply ingrained bias, against harmful stereotypes, against systemic barriers designed, intentionally or not, to hold them back. From Michael Jordan revolutionizing marketing and culture to Giannis winning those hard-earned MVPs against all odds, they're not just athletes, they're revolutionaries, constantly reshaping not just their sports, but society itself.
So the challenge that remains then for all of us, for organizations, for media, for fans, is to dismantle those barriers that still exist. The biased media narratives, the stark underrepresentation in leadership roles, the stigma around mental health. As we celebrate their incredible achievements, we have to commit to real, tangible equity. That means more days,
Black coaches and executives, fair and nuanced coverage, and genuinely safe, inclusive spaces where all athletes can thrive.
And maybe a final thought for you, our listeners, to mull over. Consider the ripple effect. We've seen how one athlete's courage, one athlete's voice, can inspire an entire generation. So imagine, what could a truly equitable sports world unleash? What kind of human potential, both on the field and far beyond it, are we currently leaving untapped? Just think about the possibilities.
That's a powerful thought to end on. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. We really hope this gave you some valuable insights, maybe sparked some new thinking. And remember, for more incredible information like this, please do check out Mind Expansion Daily. If you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. It genuinely helps us keep these conversations going. And if you found this valuable and want to show some support, the link to buy us a coffee is in the description. We'd be incredibly grateful. We really want to hear what you think. Did you agree with our take? Disagree? Leave a comment below, and please let us know where you're listening from. We're excited to see our global audience grow. Until next time, keep digging deeper.